MKUltra was an insidious and unlawful program orchestrated by the CIA, running from 1953 until 1973. The primary goal of MKUltra was to explore and develop methods for manipulating and controlling human behavior. This exploration included the use of a cocktail of drugs and psychological techniques, often conducted through morally repugnant experiments on unsuspecting victims.
I think the CIA is controlling my thoughts.
No, we're not.
Oh, I guess they're not.
The seeds of MKUltra were planted in earlier CIA projects like Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. These initiatives were driven by paranoia and fear of Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean brainwashing techniques employed on American prisoners during the Korean War. The intelligence community was convinced that the communists had cracked the code on mind control, and the CIA was hell-bent on not just catching up to, but surpassing these techniques.
They're controlling our minds with flu shots. I knew it.
Sidney Gottlieb, often dubbed the Black Sorcerer and the Dirty Trickster, was the head of the CIA's Technical Services Division and the mastermind behind MKUltra. Richard Helms, a senior CIA official and later the director of Central Intelligence, was the bureaucratic muscle that greenlit and pushed MKUltra forward. The methods used in MKUltra were varied, twisted, and often downright brutal. First, let's talk drugs, and we're not talking aspirin.
Get in.
LSD, or lysergic acid diethylamide, was the shining star of MKUltra. The CIA believed it could obliterate an individual's resistance and help seize control of their mind. Experiments involved dosing both willing and unwilling subjects, sometimes in nightmarish combinations with other drugs, to study the effects on the human psyche. Other drugs tested included mescaline, psilocybin, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. Hypnosis was exploited as a tool for creating amnesia and implanting sinister suggestions. Among the project's participants, electroshock therapy was wielded like a weapon to erase memories and reprogram minds. Subjects were isolated in sensory deprivation tanks, deprived of all sensory input for agonizing periods, to see how it shattered their mental state. And if that wasn't enough, extended periods without sleep were used to break down the subject's resistance, pushing them to the brink of insanity.
You may have noticed that I'm not all there myself. And the more us outbreak.
Many experiments took place at reputable universities like Harvard, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins. These institutions provided the perfect cover and a steady stream of guinea pigs. Prisons were also a hotbed for abuse, with inmates subjected to the use of LSD without their knowledge, such as at the Lexington Rehabilitation Center in Kentucky. Psychiatric hospitals in particular were very sinister playgrounds. Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron's work at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal involved sadistic forms of sensory deprivation, electroshock therapy, and psychic driving. For those unfamiliar, psychic driving is the relentless process of subjecting someone to repetitive audio messages with the intent to brainwash. The experiments conducted under MKUltra were a cesspool of ethical violations. Subjects were often unaware they were part of a grotesque experiment, violating the fundamental principle of informed consent. Many suffered long-term psychological damage, severe mental distress, and some even paid the ultimate price with their lives. In 1975, the U.S. Senate blew the lid off the CIA's dirty secrets, leading to the shocking revelation of MKUltra. The Church Committee, chaired by Senator Frank Church, exposed the CIA's unethical experiments to the world. The revelation sparked widespread public outrage and an insatiable demand for accountability. They found that in 1973, then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the mass destruction of all MKUltra files. But in a twist of fate, a cache of 20,000 documents, stored incorrectly, was later discovered. These documents provided a limited, but crucial glimpse into the program's terrifying scope and activities. On one hand, MKUltra did yield significant insights into the effects of psychoactive drugs. The CIA learned how these substances could alter perception, induce hallucinations, break down mental resistance, and raise a person's suggestibility. However, the experiments also revealed the unpredictable nature of these drugs, making them unreliable for consistent mind control. Electroshock therapy and sensory deprivation showed some potential for inducing amnesia and altering behavior, but they often resulted in severe psychological trauma and long-term damage. rendering the subjects unfit for any practical use as controlled assets. Hypnosis, while intriguing, proved to be unreliable for deep and lasting mind control. Despite the official end of MKUltra in 1973, many people believe that similar programs continue to this day, and are being carried out on politicians, celebrities, and the general public. Proponents of these theories point to alleged evidence of mind control through media, advanced technologies like neural implants, and secret drug testing. Cases, such as the weird and glitchy behaviors of celebrities and politicians, are often cited as proof of ongoing mind control efforts. But officially, the US government denies any involvement in ongoing mind control experiments, and as we all know, the government never lies.